Oakridge Cemetery. Here we are. Before we visit Howlin Wolf's grave, I'm going to stop and visit a relative. My father is also buried in the same cemetery, along with some other relatives. But I'm going to stop and visit my father's grave first, and then we'll check out Howlin Wolf. We'll pay homage to Howlin Wolf. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, this is section 18, so we're in the right spot. And there I see it in the distance. Burnett. My camera is not good. Alright, let's head in that direction. Here we are. Mr. Chester Burnett and his wife Lily. Hello, Mr. Chester Burnett, Mr. Howlin Wolf. I don't know if you're listening. I'm not one of those who believes that necessarily the deceased can hear you from anywhere, I believe. But thank you for all the work you've done, Mr. Howlin Wolf. My people from the Delta too. As a matter of fact, they used to call me Delta Bounds when I played in theater, because my roots were in the Delta. Both grandparents having come from the Mississippi Delta. But you're not hearing from that for hear about me. So we have some link, Mr. Burnett. Mr. Chester A. Burnett, born 1910 and passed in 1976. He was born in White Station, Mississippi. It's an unincorporated area. I had never heard of this area before, like so many areas in Mississippi. White Station is kind of southeast of Memphis, and east of Clarksdale, I believe. All right. First, Mr. Wolf started. Man, what a life he's had, Where do you start? He's had kind of a rough upbringing, and then he started playing or getting lessons from Charlie Patton. Charlie Patton, if you're not familiar with, is the godfather of Delta Blues. You can check him out, some of his stuff on YouTube. But his mom kicked him out of the house, Chester. Who knows? Maybe it's because he was listening to that blues. She seemed to be a very strict woman when it came to such things. Like many people were in the South at that time. But he bought his first guitar, January 15th, 1928. This is a date that he remembered even until he passed. So, what an impression the guitar made on him. Then taking a few lessons and Charlie Patton showing him some stuff. They sometimes played together in the Delta communities. And, if Charlie Patton would teach him some chords on the guitar and stuff like that, he would teach him a little bit of showmanship as well, like flipping his guitar over or throwing it up in the air. Imagine that's where Howlin Wolf got that to be such a showman, crawling on the floor and all of these things that he does. He did serve some time in the military, and there's actually a photo online of him in the military, and you can find that if you search Google Howlin Wolf in the military photo or something like that. You can find it. This is before he became the great success that he was known to become. So he grew up, and he was playing around with Charlie Patton, like I said, around the South and Arkansas, Mississippi, and but he first got signed with the Memphis recording studios, which turned into Sun Records with Sam Phillips. Now, Ike Turner found, well, they say he found or discovered Howlin Wolf. Ike Turner was a freelance, what do you call him? Talent search guy, looking for talent. And you know, Chester was already playing around town and becoming known, developing a name for himself. And he brought him to Sam Phillips. He recorded a little with Sam Phillips, but ultimately Sam had financial obligations he had to consider, and he had to sell that contract. And he sold it to Chess Records. And Wolf eventually moved to Chicago. They wanted him to move to Chicago, and he moved to Chicago in 1952. And did more recording there. Now, all the while, he basically had no relationship with his mother through all of this. And there's a story as well that he went to visit his mom when he became really big, and he gave her some money. The story is a $500 bill. And she took it and threw it on the ground and stomped on it till it ripped in half. And the story is that he cried all the way back to Memphis, going back to Chicago. What a story, man. Anyway, he was being heard on KWEM in West Memphis, Arkansas. They started broadcasting him live. This was early on, before he got big. And like I said, he says that he's the only one that came to Chicago, meaning artists, blues artists and such, that came to Chicago in his own car. He was already making money before he left. So when he got to Chicago, he came to Chicago in 1952 with his own vehicle and $4,000 in his pocket. Can you believe this? That's pretty good. Most others, as you know, you look at my other vlogs, they were on, they caught that Illinois Central. Muddy Waters, Sam Cooke, a lot of others. And Wolf was also known for treating his band well. You know, him and Duke Ellington, man. I don't know, Duke paid his musicians well. But Wolf was also known for paying his musicians well. You know, he paid their unemployment insurance, Social Security. Man. In the 1950s, he had 5 on the national Billboard charts, R&B Billboard charts, including I Asked for Water, which is one of my favorites. He had 3 songs were listed by the Hall of Fame. This might be Blues Hall of Fame. 500 songs that shaped, out of the 500 songs that shaped the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he had 3 songs on there. That's pretty influential. When you speak of blues, and Chicago blues specifically, you think of Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. Those were the cats. In 2011, Rolling Stone, he was listed number 54, greatest artist of all time. And in the 1960s, he recorded such songs as Wang Dang Doodle, Spoonful, Backdoor Man, Red Rooster. Those were pretty popular. 1973, Backdoor Man was his last album. 1975 was his last performance at the Chicago Amphitheater. They gave him a 5-minute standing ovation. Now, at that performance, he was very sick. He was already really sick at that time. He stopped performing so much, and that performance, he gave one of his big performances, like crawling on the floor like he was known for. Man, kidney disease, blood pressure, and towards the end they found a tumor in his brain, but he was too sick for them to operate or do anything about. His heart wouldn't take it. So a few days later, I believe after that concert, he had passed. In 1994, they issued a commemorative stamp for him. Man, what a life. He is who the rock groups looked up to. Europe, you can find all these concerts that he did. Well, not a lot of them, but you can find one where he was brought to Europe to play, and you can listen to these guys, Mick Jagger, and they're singing his stuff. Little po' boy out of Mississippi, some unknown spot in Mississippi. Look, I didn't even know Mississippi had a white station until I started researching this. Spent many summers in Mississippi, Clarksdale, with my grandparents. Had no idea of what was going on there before I got there. Howlin' Wolf, thank you, my man. Thank you. Oh, I asked for water. Oh, she brought me gasoline. That's the terriblest woman that I ever seen. Thank you, Chester A. Garnett. And thank you, Lily, as well, for keeping him together. As Howlin' Wolf would say that he had a woman at home. He wasn't fooling around with nobody but his wife. Mr. Howlin' Wolf, thank you again. Perhaps when I get there, we can hook up and play some music together. Until next time. Well, I don't have much change. All I have is pennies. But I'll put up the shiniest penny. Somebody's put a dime there. I'll put a shiny penny. Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Mr. Howlin' Wolf. Well, I've been here about 2 hours, which is about what I was thinking I would be. I could spend another 2 hours in here, but I'm gonna have to get out of here. I'm getting hungry. So, the light here. Okay. Thanks for watching.